Alright, so I'm going to review the communication system we use with Ella because it's kind of important to be consistent in how you let her know when she's doing the right thing, when she's doing the wrong thing, and if she ever does something she should never do again kind of thing. So for, when she's on the right track, I use 3 different ways to communicate that. Good, yes, and break. So good lets her know at the moment what you are doing is the right thing, keep doing it. So it doesn't end the behavior. In other words, if she's over here, say in a place command, and I walk over and I go, good girl, it doesn't mean you can get up and walk away. It means I like what you're doing, but keep doing it. If I am really happy with what she did, and I want her to know that her moment of that behavior was like, ooh, that behavior actually earned you at that moment of food reward, I'm going to capture the behavior itself, almost like when you take a picture with the word yes, and it's going to let her know that, hey, at that time, what you were doing was so good, food happened. Now, unlike good, which means keep going, yes is an end cue. So if she did a really quick sit and I say yes, she can get up from the sit to come get her food. Whereas if I say good, she has to stay there, and if I want to give her food, and I will give her food for when I say good sometimes, I will go to her to give her the food. So that's 2 of the ways that you can communicate when she did something really awesome. Yes is something like if she's out running and playing and I call her to come and she turns and commits to me, I'll mark it with a yes, and I'll let her know, woohoo, you're doing the right thing, come all the way back to me and you're going to get your food. Or if she drops into a really fast sit, like I said, I might mark that with a yes, come get your food. And depending, like if I want her to maintain it, obviously I'll do the good. Now, commands like sit, down, place, and even let's go, which is walk behind my left foot, so it's actually positioned right there. Let's go means hang out here. They're positions. And when I tell a dog to sit, I expect them to maintain that position until I tell them to do something else, like come, lay down, or I release them. And so it's very important that since the behavior is a start, that there's an end. That end cue, that meaning you did the right thing, you're finished doing it, is break. And right now, at her point in her training, basically every time she hears that word, she's basically going to get food. If she's super sloppy, super distracted, I may not feed her. But for the most part, if she did a really good job holding a command, holding a position, when I say break, I'm going to follow that up with food. So that's really important. So good, keep going. You feed her in position. Yes, that behavior was really awesome. Come get your food. If you want to hand it to her, that's fine. If you want to toss it down, away from you, that's fine too. Break. You are finished holding that position. You may get up and get your reward. She's going to do things she shouldn't do, and I'm predominantly talking about blowing off the recall or shifting from a sit or down or trying to get off the place command. You're going to want to capture that. Just like you capture the good behavior with the yes, like a picture, the second she starts to move out of position, you're going to want to say no. Marks the behavior. Then you follow up with a little leash guidance to let her know what she's supposed to be doing and repeat the cue. So if she's in a place and she were to start to get off, I would say no as she started to get off. Use that leash, guide her back on, and as I'm using that leash to guide her back on, remind her you're in the place. So now we're going to go over those commands and whatnot. Come here, babies. Oh, you're so cute. I know. You're just such a cute little thing. I'm going to hold the leash in my right hand because when I walk dogs, I'm righty, so when I walk dogs are on my left side, and I want my left hand free to use food. You're going to have to use food for training. I use predominantly her kibble, but when you're working in more distracting environments and on something as important as the come when called, you're going to have to feed her something better. If you don't want to do something like real chicken or real cheese, then you're going to want to get a freeze-dried dog treat, or from the pet store version of like the chicken or pheasant or fish or rabbit or whatever, some sort of meat that is good for her. So when you give a command, you need to have a very clear definition. When I say the command come, it means immediately stop what you're doing and in a straight line come quickly to me. So she doesn't have to run, she has to move quick. She can't stop and sniff or kind of veer off this way. It's basically a straight line. Not, I'm going to go this way, I'm going to pause over here, I'm going to sniff this, I'm going to start head back over that way. It is a straight line to me. And if you notice, I said the word, and where is she? She's pretty close to the front of my feet. sitting there staring at me, trying to make eye contact. Because the end of that command, the come command, is sit in front of me and maintain eye contact until I say, break. Then that means you can look away, and then I'm going to go ahead and offer her food, and I'll move back and feed her right behind my left ankle. So, do that again. Come. Break. So she's not a border collie, so she's not the fastest dog, but good job, she's doing it. Now the reason why sometimes I'll lure her back towards my left side like that, or use move the food over so she goes back to my left side, is because I want her to go, wow, when I'm here, really good things happen. I want to condition this spot behind my left foot to be a really positive association for her, where she thinks a lot of good things happen, a lot of affection. Great job. A lot of affection and good things happen here, so that she wants to be here, and it makes it easier for walks in distracting environments for her to go here, because she's so conditioned that, oh, that's a good spot. However, you can toss the food, you can put it in her mouth, and you can toss it. So, Ella, come. Say your name. If she doesn't, here I'm just going to do a little, good. All the way to you, good girl. Break. You can then toss the food, which makes it fun, because then she can get it. Ella, come. And then you can repeat the cue. She has to come all the way in. Break. Now, if you notice, I always sort of lean back a little bit. Ella, come. I'll back up. She needs that extra guidance right now. Break. Also, she's a very non-confrontational dog. So if I go, Ella, come, and I move forward at all, or even I don't back up, she's going to stop way back there because she's a little intimidated by it. And, you know, it's just, she's a very soft, easy dog. So there's nothing wrong with that. Hi, Lazy Bones. Good girl. Break. But just be aware that when you call her to come, don't move forward at all. Move it backwards. Now, the other thing is, come here, babies. You can mark it, like I said. Ella, come. Yes, good girl. That's right. Don't wait for her to get to you. Once she turns and starts coming towards you, let her know that was the right thing. Break. And she's very good at giving eye contact. Good job. Until you say break. Go get that treat. Go get that treat. Now, a fun little thing we taught that you can also use as a recall if she is distracted is touch. Yes, good job. It just means hit them on my hand with yours. Good. Touch. Just good girl. Touch. And then you can throw the food away, and she gets to go, oh, get it. Gets to go run it down, which makes it a little bit more fun. Now, she obviously knows sit, and she knows it well, but one of the things you need to work on is getting her to sit at a distance. So I'm about, maybe 5 feet away or so. Ella, sit. Nope. Good. Now you notice I gave her, said her name, gave the command, and then I slid my hand up the leash as I said nope, and gave her a little pressure upwards. She knows slight pressure upwards is another way of saying sit, and that she really has to sit. Now, when she is in the sit, she doesn't get to get up, she doesn't get to move away, and she doesn't get to slide into a down. Who's a good girl? Even if I come over and I pet her, nope, sit. Thank you. Who's a good girl? She tends to want to bounce up when you scratch her butt. Nope, sit. Nope. She has to do it. Thank you. Good girl. She tends to want, nope, bounce up. So, you know, be aware that when you're petting her, it's not a release. Come here, baby. Sit. Thank you. So just because she wants to get up because you're scratching her doesn't mean she can. And that's really important if you ever want her to be reliable in any environment. Break. And like I said, when you release on the break, feed on the break. Give her kibble. So again, when she's not paying attention, Ella, sit. Slide your hand up that leash. Good job. That was pretty good. That was a good girl. That's a good sit. Now, like I said, you can feed on the good, and you should randomly do that when she's doing a really good job. But when you say good and you want to follow that up with food, you deliver it to her. She doesn't move for that. Even if you, now if you notice the leash is loose still, clip is hanging down, but right there. Nope, sit. Aw, baby. Thought you were going to do it. Even if you drop the food and it's close, she can't get up for it. Good. She has to wait until you say, Ella, break. Break. Good job. That's right, sweetheart. This is so important that it's practiced both in the house and outside during walks. It's practiced when people are around, cleaning, doing work in the property, when friends and family are around. So important that when you say these things, she's on leash. That if you notice Edie's not here running around, she's currently away in the crate, but I will often have her just tethered. In other words, she's on leash and that leash is secured to something. She goes behind a baby gate so that Edie's not running over here and jumping on Ella during training. She must practice these things. When they are together, Edie does the commands along with Ella. She'll do the sit, she'll come, but she's not allowed to interrupt it. You must have Ella on leash because, if I go, Ella, sit, then my only other option is nope, sit, come over and hope she does it. So at least you can go, nope, sit. And there's a consequence that it's not up, sit. You can use there you go, baby. That was lazy, good girl. I didn't give her the piece of food, by the way. I just wanted to see if she'd go up for it. Hey, good girl, thank you, baby. It's very important that you make her do it when you tell her to do it. Like I said, only way she'll ever be reliable. Break. One of the things that I like all dogs to be able to do is sit. Good job. When you say down, it's the same thing as when you apply a little pressure to that leash. Good girl. I want you to be able to step on her leash and have her settle into a down. And when she goes down quickly, because she's a type of dog she is, if she goes right down for that pressure, I want you to give her a piece of food for it. When you're hanging out or you're doing this long term, step on the foot on the leash under the arch of your foot and keep it kind of short on her side and a little tight on your side. And just let her hang out there. This is something you should do for 15-20 minutes every day just because. Good. Break. It's something that if you're taking her to the vet and you're in the vet's office, especially if she seems nervous, don't have her in your lap, have her in a downstay by her feet. That'll help her calm back down, especially if you practice it. It's actually a good calming exercise. One of my favorite commands is place. And all that means is get up onto this object and stay on this object until I release you. So Ella, place. Now she's not going to do it. Little leash guidance. Good girl. Thank you. Ella, break. So I want her to do it the first time and get a reward for it. Good job, baby. Ella, place. Good girl. When you start with a new bed or a new object, good job, baby. Just guide her up. And then as she gets better with that particular object, you won't be walking all the way up to it. You'll eventually have such a good association because she gets food and she goes up there right away, girl baby, that she'll want to get on the bed because she knows good things happen there. Now, same thing as everything else. If you go over and go, hi, what a good girl, that's a good dog, hi. Nope. Place. Not a release. Hi, good girl. Is this confusing? Sure. Does it matter? No. If somebody's coming in and out of the door and you don't have her tucked away, you might want to be able to send her a place command. If you're sitting down with friends and you want her in the room, but not, jumping on people, put her in a place. She'll settle down and happily chew her bone, and you and your guests will be able to eat in peace. Good girl. So even if she's in a place and when your friends say, oh, Ella, I love you, is it baby? Who's going to do? Oh, baby. Good. They can't call her, but, that's not a release. Good job, baby. What is a release is Ella, break. Good job. And, that's something, practice throughout your house. Take a dog bed, a yoga mat, a bath towel, whatever. Even a bath mat's really good because they've got a nice thick consistency to them. And just travel and practice with it. And again, she's on leash, so